Welcome to NFT Nation, the most relatable and reliable NFT and crypto podcast in the nation. In today's episode, Alex is going to break down the basics and explain what crypto mining is and how it works. But before we start today's episode, I'm going to give you all the weekly updates of how the crypto market's doing. So obviously we have Bitcoin, number one, down around 4% this week. Ethereum up around 0.5% this week. Binance Coin down around 3%. We have Solana, which I invested in this week, up about 11%. We have Cardano up around 2% this week, which I like since I'm a Cardano stakeholder. We have XRP down around 6%, which isn't that great, but I'm looking to buy more. We have Polkadot down around 10%, and Dogecoin down around 5% as well. So, Alex, if you want to take it away, explain to the people what crypto mining is.
Yep, so pretty much what I'll be doing is mostly talking about Bitcoin, but at the same time, I'll dive into the different cryptos that you can mine. So Bitcoin mining is the process of creating new Bitcoins by solving extremely complicated math problems that verify transactions in the currency. That's sort of like the most basic way of saying it. And it's the process in which new Bitcoins are entered in circulation. It is also the way that new transactions are confirmed by the network and a critical component of the maintenance and development of the blockchain ledger. So pretty much all you're doing is, while you're mining, your computer, your phone, your GPU, CPU, any of that, which we'll go over in the future of the episode, it's pretty much just solving math problems to make sure your crypto goes through. So like I said in the beginning, you can't just, well, you can, but there's a bunch of other cryptos that you can mine. For example, you can mine Ether, Doge, Monero, Ravencoin, and Helium. So I've been hearing a lot more about Helium. I don't know about you, Michael, but
I've been doing a lot of research on Helium, and actually, I think Helium's kind of like the stepping stone of crypto mining, since they have kind of like pre-made miners that you're able to buy.
Yeah.
And I was looking to buy some, and because I had enough money and I saved the money, I was like, I want to get into crypto mining. And the Bobcat miners that are used to mine Helium, which is like the main like GPU miner that not GPU miner, main miner that people use for Helium. It was $600, and it was on about a 6-month back order from China. And this just shows you how many people want to get in to crypto mining.
Yeah.
So many people want a miner that they have to wait 6 months. And this isn't just some like small company that's making one miner a day. This is a massive facility in China that they have so many orders that if you want to get into Helium mining, you have to wait 6 months. Like, that's crazy. Like, if you ordered a crypto miner in like April of 2021, you were just now getting your miner, which is crazy. So it's kind of like a big bet, especially for the price of Helium, because if you buy a miner now, you have no idea if Helium's still going to be valuable in 6 months, which I believe it is, because I think the majority of like large cap cryptos are going to be valuable, but it's just like a big bet, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's for the long run. Mining, you're just gambling for the long run, really.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for a lot of companies nowadays, because there's a few public companies on the stock market that I bought, and none of them have made a profit right now, because they're all when they mine their crypto, they're all holding, so they're not selling any of their crypto. And there's this one company that I'm personally invested in called Bitfarms, and it's a crypto mining company that uses hydroelectricity from Canada, and they mined over 3,000 Bitcoin this year. Oof. And they aren't having profit on their books because they're just holding it for the long run, because that's how much they believe in it. Which is also good, because the less people selling in the market is the higher the price is going to go up.
Yeah, don't want for them. So, like I said earlier, when you're mining Bitcoin, you're trying to solve a problem. And if you end up solving that problem, you get a reward. And you get a small reward if you solve the first problem. So what you're trying to do is you're solving pages of math problems to get to the answer. So the money that you get, or Bitcoin I should say, is what you get from like finding a new page of problems so that you can keep progressing. And if you finally get to the main solution, right now the reward is 6.25 Bitcoin, which is a ridiculous amount. And you have to solve three problems to get the full thing. And if you end up doing that, the person who solves the problem gets the coin, and then I believe it's cut in half. So you could see the reward has just been going down since the years. And so go ahead.
To interrupt, but like especially if like the reward is going down, like I know a little bit about mining, not as much as you since you did all this research, but I know Bitcoin has something called a halving cycle, which like decreases the amount of Bitcoin that like is rewarded. I'm pretty sure the more it's mined, and this like it shows that when the creator made Bitcoin, they knew it was going to go up in value, because the more it's mined, the higher the value will be, because people still want that reward, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like it will even out. Like one Bitcoin may be $60,000 right now, and you only may get 6 when you complete a block. But say in like 10 years, the reward is only 3 Bitcoin. Bitcoin may be worth double or triple what it is now. So it kind of like evens out. Like the reward stays the same.
So the problem, I try to find an easy definition an easy explanation of the problem that you're solving, but it was very complicated. So the one I have right here is the problem is you're trying to find a random noise. I believe that's how you say it. It says a little random data that goes into a block that makes the block have a hash in binary, and it starts with a certain amount of zeros, because binary code is just all ones and zeros. And the more zeros, the more rare hash is. A good hash outcome is not predictable, and so you have to try a lot of times to find a good noise. So I know for me, I've researched for a couple weeks now, and that is still confusing me. That still kind of makes no sense to me. But a hash, that I saw that being brought up multiple times in there, and the hash is a function that meets the encrypted demands needed to solve for a blockchain computation. So pretty much you're just like helping crypto get bigger, I guess.
So like say I send you, let's say like I send you $100 of Bitcoin from my wallet to your wallet. The only way that transaction's able to happen is because there's crypto miners. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And that just adds to the blockchain, which adds to the reward.
Yeah, the miners are kind of just helping the process go speed up, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is why crypto is so good at being decentralized, because since everyone wants this reward, there are people all over the world mining crypto, which just kind of spreads it out, makes more people want to buy crypto, makes the crypto price go up when more people want it. It just helps kind of like the world go around. This like the reward process.
Yeah. So now we're gonna get into like how to actually start mining. So
because I think this is like what people don't understand. I feel like they understand what mining is, but so many people are like, how do I do it? Because they see all these big things on Instagram of like silos with thousands of computers, and it kind of just all the information goes over their head. So how can we start mining?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different miners that you can get, all the way from the cheap stuff to like the main big stuff. So sort of your mid-tier miner that like you're getting into it, you know what's going on, you're kind of more advanced, and it's GPU and CPU mining. Those are kind of like the brains of your computer almost. They do all like the work. So pretty much it's just the GPU is meant for solving problems, and it's the best at doing that. So those are that's kind of like what private people like me and you, if we get like more going, that's kind of what most people kind of push towards. And then your next one, this is your like very like specialty, top tier, your best kind of mining. This is like you're being serious about this, and it's ASIC mining or miners. So these devices or computers are just made for mining. They're all the best equipment specially made for mining crypto, and that's what you see in most farms, like bit farms that you were talking about earlier. They just have all ASIC miners, and they're going to be the most profitable. They're just best speed and everything. So those are your top tier ones.
Yeah, and sorry to cut you off, but for anyone that is kind of all this GPU, CPU stuff is going over your head. So pretty much what a GPU does, if you have a desktop computer, you most likely have a GPU. It's probably not anything great. But a GPU is pretty much the part of your computer that makes like graphics. So it does the servers for the 2D and 3D calculations, while like the GPU is kind of like you have 60 frames per second. Does your computer run fast? And the CPU is more of it calculates and interprets instructions while you're surfing the web. So like it's like a really, really, really fancy calculator. So that's why GPU and CPUs used to be like kind of like the homemade miners.
Yeah.
But now people are upgrading to ASIC.
Yeah, they're working with all the data and everything, and that's why they're so good at solving those problems. And then now we get into like the starter level stuff. I've actually been looking at getting a few of these, and it's the USB miners. And
these look cool.
They're super cool. USB miners, they're not expensive. The best kind of USB miner that you can get is I think around like $180 per stick, and they're pretty much just made from ASIC miners. They're like parts that they take off of old ASIC miners and they put them into the USB miners. So it's obviously not going to be as profitable, but you still make a decent amount. I mean, decent as in like max $1, but I mean that will obviously pay for itself. And yeah, they're great starters, get you knowing about the mining kind of process and everything. And then the last one, not a lot of people do this just because it's expensive. It's a lot more expensive and kind of probably, I think, the least profitable because they're so expensive and you're not making much. And you can actually use your computers and phones to mine. So what some people...
I've seen there's been a lot of popular YouTube videos about like, I'm mining crypto with my old phone.
Yeah.
I've always thought about it, but I don't really know if it's as useful as people think it is.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. So when you mine, it's going to be super slow. And what you're doing, you're kind of just ruining your device. I mean, it's not going to it's only going to go downhill. And
at that point, you're kind of just wasting electricity, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and the device itself. It's not the best one that you can do. And so how you could solve the problem with any of these, like the CPU, ASIC, even the USB miner. You can solve the problem. It's kind of luck. Like for the USB miners, they call them like jackpot gambling, all the casino miners, kind of all of those, just because, I mean, you're not making so much of a profit. You're just kind of hoping you solve the problem.
Yeah, especially like since there's so much competition in like the mining space, I've seen a lot of like homemade YouTube videos about how to mine. Is that they're actually not mining Bitcoin? They're mining a smaller
other cryptos.
Because when you're trying to mine Bitcoin, it is so competitive. It is almost impossible to compete with these companies that are getting millions of dollars in investments from like capital funds.
Yeah.
And you pretty much just have to figure out how you can compete on your own.
Yeah, like he was saying, you mine smaller coins and it just gets converted into Bitcoin. But if you're mining straight Bitcoin, anyone can solve the problem. Like your USB miner can solve the problem the first day, but it's like almost impossible just because of how unlikely it is to happen. And then finally, the way you make money from it. So you're obviously not just gonna say plug plug the ASIC miner into your wall and it'll start mining, obviously, or start just putting money in your account. You gotta like hook it up to your computer, and you have to do this long process and everything. And the way you actually make money is you could be put. There's many ways, but you can be put into a pool, and a pool is where there's a bunch of people mining Bitcoin at once, and you'll get the pot of Bitcoin, or money, I should say, and then it gets split up. It gets split up between all of you depending on the hash rate that you're mining at. So the hash rate is pretty much just how much Bitcoin you're mining at one time. And so if you're doing a lot more if you have a lot bigger hash rate, you're obviously going to get more Bitcoin just because you're doing a lot more work. But if you're doing like small hash rate like USB, you're obviously going to get, so it's not like it gets split up evenly. It gets split up between how much your technology is doing, or your miners are doing.
Yeah, it's kind of like survival of the fittest, where the people with the most money, the people with the best technology will obviously come in first place. And I was watching like a video about it, and they were like, how to kind of explain crypto mining is where it's all a bunch of runners that they are the best runners in the world, and whoever is the fastest wins. And it's kind of a waste of energy for people that aren't going to win, because you're using all this power, and if you don't get the rewards, you're just burning energy and wasting money. So that's especially why other people have transferred to smaller coins as well.
Yeah. And like I said, there's many other ways that you can collect your earnings, but being in a pool is it's just a lot more simpler than there.
And it would make sense for a pool, because since there's so many people working together, it just kind of
it just
puts your power together, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's pretty much kind of the simplest kind of details on mining. Do you have any other ideas or thoughts about it?
So is there any difference? I don't know if you know, but I'm just wondering, is there a difference between Bitcoin mining and, because Bitcoin, there's a certain amount there can be.
Yeah.
Is there any difference between like Ethereum mining, where there can actually be like an infinite number of Ethereum?
I don't
know how that works.
I don't think, I know Bitcoin, you obviously have a set amount that you can mine. I don't think it makes sense if Ethereum was like that, because if you just keep mining, then you can just keep on earning money forever.
Yeah.
So I think
it's, I don't want to put out false information, but I'm pretty sure how Ethereum works is the gas fee. I think that goes into like the miners.
Yeah, I think
reward.
I think that's
like
how
a burning process where they burn Ethereum to like not inflate the market. But
yeah, I know.
We can obviously answer any of those questions if anyone listening wants those answers.
Yeah, I know for sure that the mining has to do with the gas fees and your transaction when you buy something or transfer stuff.
That's why this is the topic that I want to talk about in the next episode, but that's why I believe staking crypto is actually the future. In Ethereum 2.0, which Vitalik and the team at Ethereum is working on, they will have a proof of stake concept, which we will have an entire video about it, but in a quick, like 30-second definition, staking is pretty much you're hedging your bet to help the market work. Like, it doesn't take as much electricity. A node, which is obviously kind of like a miner, is picked to run the blockchain at a certain point. So it's kind of like it's less energy wasting than mining is, but there's obviously pros and cons to both.
Yeah, there's always pros and cons.
Yeah. Have you looked into buying any mining rigs yourself?
Yeah, I've definitely looked into the USB miners, just because, I mean, like I said, the top end stick is like maybe 200, 180 around there, but you can get cheaper sticks. Yeah. And the cheaper sticks, they're cheaper because it's old ASIC miners. Like, I think the newest ones you can get are from a 2019 miner, and the ones that are the cheap ones are like 2018 or something like that. Maybe the top end's like 2020 or something like that. It's all
Yeah.
just how good they run and how efficient they are.
Yeah, I mean, especially for like the future of crypto, I think that it's going to come to a point where the main cryptos, maybe like the top few, like the top 1, 2, and 3, like market cap cryptos that aren't proof of stake, that are proof of work, which mining is. That's like kind of like the definition of crypto mining. They'll obviously become like controlled by huge corporations that have the ability to mine, like, and compete. And I think that's why another reason why I'm so bullish on the entire crypto industry as a whole, because since smaller cryptos will become like the cryptos of the people, that will increase those, like the small coins, the altcoins, their value as well.
Yeah.
There's so much competition with the top ones. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
That's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, so that answered all my questions I had about crypto. Or crypto mining. I hope everyone listening learned something, because I obviously did. And if you all have any questions, feel free to DM me on our Instagram, or DM us on our Instagram page, NFT_nation_podcast. Give us a follow, like some of our posts. That'd be greatly appreciated. Maybe even share it. I don't know. If you feel like it, do it. We both like it.
Yeah.
So do that. Tell your friends about the podcast. We don't run any ads, so it's all word to mouth. It's just all like kind of like the community here. So, Alex, do you want to say anything before we head out?
No, I'm all good.
So, before you all leave, give us a like. Maybe turn that notification bell on Spotify. That'd be pretty cool. You'll get a notification on your phone every time we post an episode. And we hope you all have a great day.
Yep.
See ya.